Hey everyone, thank you so much for coming back. So today we're going to be working on my left hand and we are going to be doing gels. So I am going to be using my Triple D LED UV lamp. I'm going to go ahead and put her to the side, but let's go ahead and jump right into the mani. You guys, I'm going to be using my favorite nude as a base. This is Sea, Swing, and Sun. And then for my cleanup brush, I'm going to be using this one right here. And I'm just going to go ahead and clean up with alcohol and like a napkin, which I'll show you guys later in the video. But this is the little alcohol like pump bottle that I use. It's just easier for me to like less of a mess kind of thing. But you can just put it in the alcohol cap, you know, like no biggie. All right, so I am going to be using this on my pointer and my middle finger. So I'm going to go ahead and do just one coat of this. I know like you may think like because it's a sheer color, like one coat doesn't do a lot, but I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the difference that it does put a little bit of color towards the nail. And remember you guys, working with gels, thin coats is the way to go. It actually cures a lot better, and there's no like wrinkles, because sometimes when you have too much gel products you get this like weird wrinkle effect. So make sure that you're always working with thin layers. Okay, and this is how it looks like. As you can tell, it has a little bit of pigmentation towards the nail. And again, I only need a little bit because I'm just using this as my base for the other colors. So I'm going to go ahead and just cure that for 30 seconds. And then these are the colors that I'm going to be using for the mani as like the main colors kind of thing. Now I'm going to go ahead and pick out Friday Night first for my thumb. And you guys, I will explain how I apply my like my gel process. So I'm going to go ahead and grab just a little bit on the brush, and I'm actually going to go ahead and push my brush a little bit down so I can do like the fanned effect. But I'm also going to go ahead and push it back towards the nail and then pull the brush forward. So I'm actually just trying to get as close as possible to the cuticle without, you know, flooding it, of course, and without like touching the brush to the cuticle line. If you do end up touching like the cuticle line or your sidewalls, I'm going to show you how to clean it up. Also, you guys, before I forget, for when you do a like gel mani, you want to make sure that you always do a gel base first, because the application is going to be so much smoother. It's going to be so much nicer. Now I did apply for me a peel base before, and that's just because I'm going to be changing my mani in a couple days. But again, if you're going to keep it for about a week or two, I do suggest that you guys use a gel base first. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys my cleaning up process. So I'm going to go ahead and wet that cleaning brush, and then I'm going to go ahead and set it to the side because I don't need it next to me. But my napkin is right under me because I'm going to need that to wipe my brush clean. So I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit of alcohol, swipe where I need to, and then clean that brush. Okay, so once you get it how you like it, I'm going to go ahead and cure for 30 seconds. You could do a full cure, but since I'm returning my hand back to the lamp so many times, that's why I'm doing a lot of 30-second cures. At the end, towards the last layer, I will be doing a full 60-second cure. All right, you guys, so the next layer is Electric Red. Now, this one is super neon. Like right now, it looks kind of like a highlighter pink, or like, yeah, like a fuchsia pink, but it does get more pigmented the more layers you put on. I always like to do 2 layers when I'm using Nail Reserve, because their colors are like highly pigmented where you don't need a 3rd layer. But if you want to, you could go ahead and just throw on that 3rd layer. So just like my thumb, I'm going to go ahead and try and get as close as possible to the cuticle area as well as the sidewalls. If you get it on your skin, don't worry, just make sure that you clean it up before you cure. Okay, next up is Fun in a Bottle, and I'm going to be using this one on my pinky. And again, we're doing the same process. We're going to go ahead, just get a little bit on that brush, and then we're going to go ahead and get it as close as possible to the sidewalls, the cuticle area. I didn't want to go ahead and use my hand rest for this one. For me, I feel better when I'm looking at my nail, especially for my pinky. So if you like to do your gels like this way towards you without using a hand rest, that's okay too. Like I said, for me, it's easy for me to do my pinky this way. All right, you guys, so now that we did our pinky, now I'm going to go ahead and do a full 60-second cure. And then we're actually going to go ahead and do our second layer of all of our colors. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my thumb again, and then move on to my ring finger and my pinky. So while that's happening, I want to go ahead and just chit-chat a little bit with you guys and kind of like just catch up. So first off, I do sound a little bit like weird, like my voice is kind of like, I don't want to say nasally, but I have like, I don't know, I don't even know what it is. My husband gave me like this weird cough kind of infection, and almost had symptoms like allergies, but it didn't. I didn't have a fever. I still had like, you know, I can taste my food and things like that, so I know it wasn't COVID, but like, I don't know. So I'm like finally trying to get off of it. I've been sick for like this for a week. So I wanted to apologize because I sound crazy weird and basically sickly. What else? So, oh yeah, let's go ahead and catch up about Memorial. So if you guys see my last video, I told you guys that I was going to my in-laws cabin that's in Pennsylvania, and we had a blast, you guys. So my daughter finally rode, they have like this little silver four-wheeler, and she finally rode it by herself. She like got brave enough to do it by herself. She looked so stinking cute. And then she was riding around with her little brother with like their little helmet, so they look super, super tiny. So yeah, that was super cute. The weather was phenomenal. We had amazing food and sat by the campfire, so that was fun. Now fast forward a couple days, you guys. We had a really bad storm come like Monday, Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday when it hit us or something like that. And we ended up losing power for like over 24 hours. Oh my gosh. And on top of that, of course, like I said, I'm sick. It was hectic, you guys. It was absolutely terrible. It was so hard explaining to the kids that they couldn't do anything because like we had no Wi-Fi. You couldn't use the lights and stuff. But we ended up staying over at my mother-in-law's house and hung out there, and I ordered pizza for them and stuff like that. But it was just, it's really hard to explain to little kids that like, hey, you can't do anything. Like back in the day when we had storms like in Maryland, like snowstorms, or like in Florida, I was like just like coloring pictures or playing Uno, you know what I mean? But they didn't know any of that. So yeah, that was my week. How were you guys doing? How was your Memorial weekend, I guess? What do you guys have planned for this week? So yeah, I hope your guys' Memorial Day was fun and eventful, even relaxing. Like sometimes you just need like one of those days to just chill and relax from work and stuff. So it was also like one of those good things for me because I really needed it. In the summertime, like for my job, you guys, I get crazy like crazy busy. I don't know why. It's always in the summertime. Also like during winter and stuff. By the way, you guys, I work for like a medical records company, but I work where I have to do like the special release forms and stuff like that, and I work with the clients and also with the insurance companies. But yeah, so yeah, like I said, we get super busy around this time, and I have no idea why. It's always in the summertime and in like December, Christmas time. Oh, okay, you guys, really quick. So right now I'm actually adding on a no wipe gel top coat to the 3 nails that I just did. I want to go ahead and add this now before I do the nail art because I don't want anything to get like sticky or attached to it. Now I could just rub it off with some like a lint-free wipe and some rubbing alcohol, but I'd rather just go ahead and just do it now and then focus on my nail art after. So we're going to do a full 60-second cure. I'm going to go ahead and get my white out, which is White Addict. And I'm going to be using this brush from Triple D. It's my favorite nail art brush, like my absolute favorite. I cannot live without it. So I'm going to go ahead and use this one throughout the video. So before I use any of my brushes, I always cleanse them in alcohol and then wipe them down with a lint-free wipe. And every time I use them afterwards, I do the same thing. So I always like to keep them clean, and I do recommend that you always do keep them clean, because then that also prevents them from being like sparsy and like the hairs from flying everywhere. So make sure you clean your areas and clean those nail brushes. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab some Nail Addict on my brush. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and focus this on the left bottom tip of the nail. I guess that's how the area to explain it. But I'm just gonna do like a random shape. So I did get this inspiration. I just like see this cow print everywhere, like the new thing right now. And it's always in random shapes, like it's never in like a whole nail, it's always on the half nail. So that's what I'm gonna try and do. I'm just basically trying to make it as random as possible. Now, once I get my shape, I'm gonna go ahead and try and make the opacity of the nail even as possible, because I only want to do one layer of this. I don't want to go ahead and add on more layers that I need to. So I'm only gonna go ahead and do just one layer of this white. And I just want to go ahead and make it as even as possible before I do a 30-second cure. Again, we're only doing 30 seconds now, but we're gonna do a full cure later. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and add more white to my palette so I can go ahead and do my middle finger. For my middle finger, I'm actually gonna do the opposite side and opposite end. So I'm gonna go towards my right and towards the top of the nail. And I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna try and do a random shape and then make that white even as possible. Okay, for my black, I'm going to use Triple D. This one's Into the Night. I couldn't find my black Addict from Nail Reserve. I don't know where I misplaced it, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and use this black. It's just as pigmented as the Nail Reserve ones. And I actually put too much on my nail plate, but this is the tool that we're going to be using, and this is the end that we're going to be using. So I'm going to put some on my little dotting tool, and guess what we're doing? Random blobby shapes. So we're gonna go ahead and just try and mimic those cow spots that they have. Some are small, some are little. So again, you just want to go ahead and make it as random as possible. So we're not striving for like perfect dots, we want beautiful blobs, if you know what I mean. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and pull out that nail art brush again. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take each of those colors that I was using earlier. So that's Friday Night, Electric Red, and Fun in a Bottle. And I'm gonna go ahead and put like little dots on my little plate here. I'm gonna go ahead and also make sure that they're far enough so I don't accidentally mix them or anything like that. So you only need a little bit. I probably again put too much, but that's okay. And we're gonna go ahead and start with Friday Night because that's the one that we have on our thumb. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my brush and put some of that gel on there. So what I'm gonna try and do is I am going to follow the outside shape of that white. So I'm gonna go ahead and try and follow that edge line without trying to overlap it as well. So you guys, while I was doing this, I was actually trying to mimic like other people's style of like trying to do it in one stroke. For me, it didn't work out that way. I found that when I put a little bit of product on my brush and do like really quick fast strokes to kind of follow that edge of that white, it worked better for me. So I mean, whatever works for you. If you can do it in one stroke, hallelujah, girl, you go. But for me, like I said, and if I do like quick fast strokes and just a little bit of product on my nail art brush, it worked for me so much better. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and repeat the process on our middle finger. So again, we're trying to follow that outside edge of that white shade, but without trying to overlap it. And we're also gonna go ahead and try and keep the same width of that line. When I was doing this, I don't know if you guys can tell, but some parts are a little bit thicker than the others. If it's not noticeable, like girl, just go ahead, keep it moving. But you wanna try and keep the same width of the like the color lines. So now I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing with Electric Red, but this time I'm gonna follow the outside of the purple line. And again, we're gonna go ahead and try and do this without overlapping it so we don't cover up that purple, and trying to make sure that the line all the way down is symmetrical. Now to make sure that each color doesn't move or anything like that, I do flash cure for 15 seconds. So we're gonna go ahead and go in with our last color, and that is Fun in a Bottle, which is that sky blue. And we're gonna go ahead and follow that red line without overlapping it. All right, you guys, so once you're done with all the colors, right here, since we just used 3 colors on our nails, I would consider it all done. We're gonna do a full 60-second cure. Now we're ready for our no wipe gel top coat. Now you guys, we're doing a thin layer like we did all our other ones. So we want to make sure that we don't flood that cuticle. If you do, you can go ahead and clean it up, so don't worry. Just as long as you clean it up before you cure it, you're fine. And you guys, I wanted to just let you guys know that I do have a code. It's 50% off for more than 2 bottles. So if you want to go ahead and shop, you can use code Shay. And again, you'll get 50% off over 2 bottles or more. Now you could be done right here, but I always add cuticle oil, and this is just to hydrate my cuticle and my skin around my cuticle. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And this is our final result, you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I can't wait to see your cow print manis, and I will see you in the next one, you guys. Bye.